Hey, y'all, welcome back to the Late Night Vision Show. This is episode number 192, and my name is Jason, owner of Outdoor Legacy, and I've got my co-host, my salesman, my number one hog hunting, coyote hunting buddy, Hans from the Hans East Texas YouTube channel. What is going on tonight in this new year?
It is a great day. Yeah, new year. Can't believe that, man. It's been
2022.
It's been awesome. Yeah, the first few days of 2022 have gone off without a hitch. No big problems to speak of at this point. We are thankful for y'all. That's one thing we are truly thankful for is the listeners and audience, all the ones that have grown this show to what it's been for the last 2 years. Yeah, 3 years actually. We are going on, man, we're so close to 200 episodes. I can smell it. And we are, we'll probably have a pretty good show. I've got some ideas of some things I'm kicking around, and I know Jason right now is wondering why are you thinking about episode 200 when you should be worrying about our SHOT Show episodes, which we just got done planning on or trying to plan about. But we are coming up with some good stuff.
And whenever he comes up with ideas for these milestone shows like 100 and 150, 200, it always involves like me and money, and it leaves my pocket. So I always get concerned if he's wanting to, give away a car or something. But
oh man, you heard it here first. I wonder what that car would like.
Hey, speaking of giveaways, and we'll tease this, and it's going to be a while, but we have got some goodies from American Defense Manufacturing, ADM. Y'all know we're huge fans of American Defense, and they have sent over some really cool stuff, and they want us to give it away on the show. And the bad news is it's not going to be today. We're so busy. We've got so much going on. SHOT Show is breathing down our neck. We don't have time to do giveaways, but we've got some cool stuff. I've got a big box of it sitting over here. And so y'all stay tuned all through January, maybe even into early February. We are going to be giving away some American Defense stuff that you don't want to miss, and there will be no purchase required, nothing but just listening to the show. So stick around for that. And again, as we kind of mentioned, it is 2022. We hope y'all all had a great Christmas, a happy new year. And I'm going to tell you something. We are wrapping up our best of 2021, which is we're only off by a week, little bleeding this into 2022.
Yeah.
But Hans, this has been a good best of series. I think it's been a lot of fun, and we've had a lot of optics to go over this year.
A lot of optics, a lot of winners. We've changed the format up. We're both kind of giving our own picks for several different categories. We're going to do the same thing today as far as what we've done in the past episodes. I'll go over those very shortly. But before we get into that, two things. As you've heard us say several times in the last few episodes going back a good ways, there are now show quick links in the description of this video on YouTube. So if you want to get to a specific section that's important to you, go into the description, click the link. It'll take you right to that spot in the show. Secondly, if you are interested in a night vision or thermal optic, please head on over to our number one sponsor, OutdoorLegacyGear.com, for all of your night vision and thermal needs. OutdoorLegacyGear.com, 877-350-1818. You can talk to me. You can talk to Jason. Or if it's like it was today, there's no telling what you're going to get, but it's been crazy, and thank you all so much. But we're doing the best night vision scope. We're going to be handing out the award. We're going to be talking about what's the best bang for the buck, the best for hog hunters, best for coyote hunters, and our Jason and I's favorite overall night vision scope. This is an important category, and I think that's why we kind of saved it for the end. Obviously, there's more night vision scopes sold in the United States than anything else, as far as compared to thermals or any other technology out there that might be available that we don't know about. But I will say, it's not just because of price. I will say that. It is not. These scopes don't sell the way they do for price only. There's a lot of uses. There's a lot of capabilities that these have. And there's some attractive features to night vision, even above thermal. Now, granted, you're always going to have an advantage at night hunting with thermal, but night vision does give you some very specific capabilities I think that the thermal cannot do. And for a lot of people, night vision is a good choice even over some thermal scopes. So it's an important category. It's kind of what I think you may have called this. You might not in the same terms, but you might have called night vision the gateway drug into nighttime hunting.
My exact
yeah.
comment.
So
it's the gateway drug. That's right.
People get into night vision hunting. They figure out how cool it is, how much they love it, how much they're going to do it, and that kind of feeds into the addiction of getting into thermal. So and biting the bullet and spending a little bit more money. But we're going to run through these scopes. Jason, why don't you run down the list and we'll jump into handing out some hardware soon after. There's not a ton of choices, and there's some explanation that needs to be had with some of the scopes that you're going to be like, well, what about this? What about this? There's a lot of explanation that needs to go on about some of these models.
The caveat that we always give is if you're listening to this and you say, wait a minute, my favorite scope is not in there, there's a reason. Either it's discontinued, it's maybe something that, you didn't know it even, but maybe they don't make it anymore.
Or we don't like it.
Yeah, or we don't like it. Maybe it's from a brand that we don't think is, something we can recommend to our listeners and our customers. So we're not gonna list it on there. We're giving you what we believe is the best of the best, and that's what we're here to do at the Late Night Vision Show, as well as Outdoor Legacy. So Here we go. I'm going on the list. I'm going to start right here. We're going to go from least expensive to most expensive digital night vision scopes, 2021, and obviously all these units are still available in 2022. At least for now. I don't know. Maybe by the time this thing airs, something's discontinued. Stuff's always changing. Sightmark Wraith. Now, I want to just go ahead because we're going to talk about the Wraith over and over and over. Wraith is Wraith. If you just look at it real quick, you don't see the I. It looks like Wrath, but it's got an I in it and it's Wraith. So a lot of guys call it and go, I don't know how to say this. Wraith, Wrath. It's the Wraith. So we got the Sightmark Wraith HD. This is the first model is a 2-power base magnification, and that unit is $499. Now Hans are going to come back and we're going to talk about each of these individually. So Sightmark Wraith HD 2-power, $499. We've got the Sightmark Wraith HD 4-power, which is $499 as well. That's the scope that started all of the Wraith frenzy. And then we've got the Sightmark Wraith 4K Max, and that is a 3-power base mag for $799. We've got the newest scope that is in extremely low supply as of January 2022, and that is the Wraith 4K Mini 2X base mag for $799. Now this scope has only been one shipment of these to the United States as of, basically right now, beginning of 2022. And so they sold out immediately and everybody's been waiting on them. By the time you're watching this, if it's, later on into 2022, these things are probably going to be readily available. I want to go ahead and mention a couple other things. Normally, we would include some pulsar units in this list. We love Pulsar. They're known for making the high-end digital night vision on the market. They're some of the most expensive digital night vision scopes, usually in that $1,200 to $1,500 price range. And they've got some of the most features and some really some things about them that we like a lot. However, all through 2021, we had the Pulsar DigX N450 and the Pulsar DigiSight N450 LRF laser rangefinder. Those units are going away. So they are going to be replaced. And then, so we're not going to talk about them. No need in telling you what the best is when it's gone. So we loved them.
Here's your trophy. You can't buy this anymore. That wouldn't work too well.
That's right. So now there's going to be a new scope coming. It was back in, I don't know, maybe October, November. It got mentioned by Pulsar, and it was called the Pulsar DigX C, the letter C, 50. So the DigX C50. What's going to be different about this scope is it's going to be full color during the daylight which is something Pulsar has never done. All of these Wraiths are full color during the daylight, black and white at night. But Pulsar is a little late to this game. But now they're getting in it. This unit is supposed to be really good, supposed to be very sensitive, and do really, really well in low light, actually giving you full color in low light situations until it gets, completely dark. Then you'll have to use your infrared illuminator. So that scope, I believe, is going to be around $1,500. I don't have the specs in front of me. This thing, we can't talk about it because it is not in the United States yet. There's only a handful of these that have begun shipping over in Europe. I think some of the dealers and some of the other guys over there who do some reviews and things are starting to get their hands on them in the last couple of weeks. We hope to see them here soon. Know for sure ETA. We'd love to see them in January, but we're going to have to wait and see how that goes. That is something that we expect to be talking about, hopefully, in the best of for 2022. But again, that scope is not available. But again, we're expecting the price to be somewhere in that $1,500 range. So Hans, let's go back up here and talk about these Sightmark Wraiths. This is the Sightmark show. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you and break the suspense that a Sightmark Wraith will be crowned tonight as the best digital night vision optic, because that's kind of what happens when you're the only one who shows up to the ball game. But Hans, let's talk about the Wraith HDs. Tell us a little bit about these optics, and this is something I know we've talked a lot about on this show before, is these units.
Yeah, you and I, we don't just test all the thermal scopes. We are out there, probably some of the only out there also testing and using and getting footage of with the night vision stuff as well. So we're not just out there trying to sell the $10,000 scopes, which we love, but we take a lot of time. I mean, you and I have hunted with the Wraith HDs from day one and have been our favorites for a very, very long time. The great thing about it, I think, it takes AA batteries. I mean, obviously you can find those anywhere. You can stack them up, stock them up, have them for a long period of time. I mean, something that runs on AA batteries or rechargeable 18650 batteries or something like that. Those are great. You can buy those batteries pretty cheap. You can have a bunch of them handy, ready to go. But the HDs record video. Man, they're probably some of the easiest scopes to use as far as user friendly. I talked to a guy today this was for his young son, a teenage son. Said the HD is a great choice. I mean, it's so easy. Probably the easiest digital scope that I've ever worked with as far as setting up, sighting in, everything. I mean, great scope. Very good picture image. At night with the IR that's on it, very comparable to a lot of digital scopes that we've seen in the past. The IR light that comes with it, you're going to get about 250 yards. If that's not good enough for you, you can definitely upgrade into another IR light. But the HDs are something that, and the 4-power was out first, and the 4-power scope was out for quite a long time. Then they introduced the 2-power scope, which was a great thing for them to do. It really opened up that scope to another dimension of hunter, and opened it up to a lot of hog hunters down here in the South that really jumped on board with that 2-power scope. But the Wraith HD has been a favorite, and even though it's now you got the 4K Maxes and 4K Minis, I still find myself time using the HD and putting it on a rifle and getting some great daytime footage out of. So works great at night. During the day, full color HD picture. I hate saying basic because it's not basic, but it is a very user friendly, very good quality scope.
I agree. And I think it is the ultimate gateway drug into night hunting. I mean, $500. I understand $500 to a lot of people is still a lot of money. I'm not making light of that, but it is very affordable when it comes to anything and all things night hunting. And we've got to, roll this back. It wasn't that many years ago that, some of the first $500, $600, $700 night vision scopes were around. Before that, I mean, it was $1,000, $1,800, $2,000 to get a basic digital night vision scope. or some old Gen 1 stuff that's all been discontinued pretty much now. I mean, so spending $1,000 to $2,000 to just to get into this game was not that many years ago, and so it's really cool to be able to think for $499 you can now buy a scope that you can hunt with in the daytime, you can hunt with at night, you can record video. I mean, that's so that they really are cool. I think that the Wraith 4K, this series is the logical upgrade to the HDs. So I had a guy today on the phone and he said, so should I even consider the Wraith HD, or is it just so antiquated that I got to go with the 4K? And I said, man, listen, I said, here's the deal. The difference is $300, $499 versus $799. I said, that's enough that you need to take pause. What is your budget? How much you're going to use it? What are you going to do with it? And, for him, it ended up that he decided the HD was going to do all he needed to do. He was going to save his money. He was going to put it into a better IR illuminator, into some accessories and things. And so, for sure, I definitely don't want to just rule out the HDs with people. I had another guy today who was talking about buying them for him and his son, so he's going to buy a couple of them because they're affordable. He's like, man, I can buy 2 of these for what I could buy 1 of some of this more expensive stuff. So the Wraith 4Ks at $799, I think they are a good upgrade for the guy who says, I really, really want the best image quality I can get. And $800 is still way cheaper than spending $2,000 or $3,000 or $4,000 on thermal. So, let's go for the gusto here. And I'm not breaking the bank. So the 4K Max came out first. I thought that the Wraith HD 4-Power, which was again the first one that came out, I thought that was the most popular, night vision scope that had ever come on the market. We had wild back order list, people waiting. It was crazy. But I think the 4K Max actually beat that. I mean, it was insanity. I'll say this, if there has ever been a tickle me Elmo moment in the digital night vision world or thermal world, it was the Wraith 4K Max. And if you're listening and don't know what the tickle me Elmo is, then you're probably not old enough, because that was
you're too young to own a scope, if that's
exactly
the case.
I don't even remember exactly what it was. I just remember that some number of years ago there were people waiting in line at stores at Christmas to get that thing, and that's how the 4K Max was. Super scope. It does have an internal rechargeable battery. Good battery life on the thing. Really, really beautiful image quality. It's a 4,000 by 3,000 resolution. So you're getting that, high resolution, tons of pixel density there that is allowing you to zoom up more. So if that's something, I really need to zoom up a little more before it starts getting grainy and pixelated, 4K Max is going to be a great answer for that. I like this 3X. I think it's a good in-between for the Wraith HD models. I mean, you're shooting it right up the middle. If you're going to come out with one model, Sightmark, brilliant. Hit it with the 3X. It's not too much for hall gunners, but it's still enough for coyote hunters, because they, if they need more, they can zoom up. So love that unit. And then again, we helped Sightmark kind of break the news in, what was that, September? October? I don't remember when the Sightmark 4K Mini, somewhere in there, early fall, the Mini came out. Now, this unit we have not fully reviewed on the podcast yet. Part of the reason is just the availability. I mean, we each got our hands on them, and they're non-existent. And so it's kind of one of those things, nobody wants to go out and create a bunch more hype about something that has no ETA. Again, hopefully now, several months down the road, that ETA is getting better, and we hopefully see these soon. Very small. It takes 2 CR123A batteries. I've had a lot of guys that like that. They said, man, I don't want that internal battery. I've had some guys who said, man, I hate that. I want an internal battery. So you've got an option if you don't like that. Hans and I both like it a lot because of the low magnification. So, Hans shot a really nice buck with his this year. My daughter killed well, her first buck with this 4K Max this year, a couple does. Then, she used the HD models before, killed a lot of deer with them. She likes the 3-power a little more than the 2-power because, she's young. She wants to see it up close. So, but I like that 2-power for the wider field of view as well. It's a very small unit. Now, one thing that needs to be said about this Mini is that there is no place on the scope to mount the IR illuminator. It does come with the illuminator, but you're going to need to mount that off the scope. So if you're hunting with a bolt action rifle or, a lever action or something that has no Picatinny rail anywhere on it and no way to attach one, the Wraith Mini, 4K Mini, do not buy it. It's not the scope for you. You've got to be able to attach a rail. I know some guys say, well, man, I'm hunting with an AR-15 and it doesn't have a big quad rail on it. It's just got the smooth plastic handguards. What do I do? If it's an AR-15, there's a way to mount a rail to it. Okay, you can find a way probably with a, $10, $15, $20 accessory, maybe less than that. You can get a small Picatinny rail somewhere to mount the light to it. But if you're using bolt guns or something, you need to really look into that. This unit was designed with AR hunters in mind, and so you'll want to find a way to mount that. Otherwise, really, really like that little unit, and we will be, reviewing it, hopefully soon here on the podcast. So, just real quick, I'm gonna just read them real quick. We got the HD 2-power. The HD 4-power, both $499. We got the Wraith 4K Max 3X for $799, and the 4K Mini 2X for $799. Hans, let's talk about it. I mean, let's. We've got all the categories. We're gonna do this exactly like we've done all of our thermal scopes. So let's just jump into what do you think is the best bang for the buck out of these scopes?
Yeah, I think it's got to be with the Sightmark Wraith HD, probably 2X is what I'm going to say. $499. I mean, $500. You're into the night vision arena. You're out there hunting. You're getting experience. You're able to do coyote, hog hunting, whatever you want to do. $500. Great scope, good price point. That's why they've sold so good for all these number of years. But man, it's hard. It's not just winning because it's the cheapest, but there's a lot of value with that $500 of what you're getting. You're not just getting a $500 paperweight. It's a great scope for $500.
Devil's advocate. All right. So Hans chose the Wraith HD 2-power. Why not the 4-power? Why do you choose the 2-power?
I think I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think since the 2-powers came out, they're vastly more popular now that those are out. But no reason.
No, come on. I got a reason. I agree with you. I'm just going to tell you why I think. The field of view is fairly narrow on these scopes. It's very narrow on the 4-power. It's 21 foot horizontally at 100 yards. The 2-power is 42 foot horizontally at 100 yards. So I like that better. Again, hog hunters, if you are spotting and stalking, you want the 2-power. If you are hunting off close range feeders, you want the 2-power. Coyote hunters, if you're in tighter, territory, I'm talking about out of the 2 HDs is what I'm talking. You would want the 2-power. Now, you're hunting on a big field, you're coyote hunting, and you're going to be taking some longer range shots. I think the 4-power is great. I've got some guys that hunt on feeders for hogs, and they say, man, our feeders are set up at 125 yards. Well, gosh, I'd buy the 4-power as well. You want to reach out there and touch it without zooming in. But I think the 2-power sells better. For a lot of guys, again, hog hunters, generally speaking, are going to like it better, and even deer hunters. So deer hunters that are buying them, they like it. Again, wider field of view, and then some coyote hunters. So I would go with the 2-power too. We still sell a lot of the 4-powers because it is the kind of the old standby. It's the original model, but best bang for the buck. I agree. $500, Wraith HD 2-power.
So what do
Okay.
you say about best for hog hunters? What's your guess on that?
Since we're taking price out of it, I'm going to say the Wraith 4K Mini. Same reason I just gave. I don't have to re-explain it. It's the 2 power. I like the field of view better on that, the lower magnification. But because it is the high resolution 4K, I can zoom up and not lose the image quality. We've actually, I think it's on maybe my Outdoor Legacy Facebook and Instagram page. I've got some video of some hogs in both daylight and dark in the same spot, which is kind of convenient and lets you look at them. And you can see with this I can't even say it, the 4K Mini 2 power, I zoomed all the way up and recorded that, showed that video from 2 power all the way up to, what is it, 16 power, I believe it goes to. And you know what? On 16 power, whatever the max mag is, it's grainy, but dadgummit, you could shoot them. It's not bad at all. So I really, for me, hog hunters, 2 power, I'm going with the 4K Mini.
Yeah, I'm going to say the same thing. Yes, 4K Mini all the way, man. That thing, since it's come out, I don't want to spill everything, but it's been one of my favorites since it came out. It hadn't been out for very long, like you said, just a couple months, but looks great on an AR, very small, compact. Get to record all your hunts. I deer hunted with mine. I put mine on an AR-10 6.5 Creedmoor, shot my big buck this year with it. I mean, takes up a much smaller footprint. Obviously you got to find a place if you're, AR hunting, put that thing on your handrail, like most people are doing with their IRs, mounting them on handrails. But man, it's a great scope, and I love it for hog hunting. Most hog hunters now these days are using an AR platform, so it kind of just both of them go together very well, and that's my choice. It's an easy choice for me on that one for hog hunter.
Okay.
Now the next one is the tough
Coyote.
one for me.
Yeah. What do you say for the coyote hunter?
Oh man, I've got different philosophies on this, because I think that night vision hunting, because you don't get as many follow-up opportunities as you would with a thermal scope, because a lot of times you shoot, there's a big puff of smoke that goes out there, the IR light bounces off of it, and a lot of times just follow-up shooting in general with night vision is not easy. So I think people like to have a very close zoomed in image more than they would with a thermal scope, so they prefer a little bit higher magnification on their night vision scopes. So it kind of seems like I would say the Wraith HD 4X would be my choice for Coyote. But man, I can't choose it with that 4K max out there, with that beautiful 4K resolution image, with the rechargeable batteries, which is great for coyote hunters, because most of you guys that we're talking to right now, it's in very, very cold weather. So, something like that with rechargeable batteries is definitely going to help you out. But 3 power is perfect, I think. Again, for coyote hunters, that's where they want to start out at. And like you said, as you magnify the image, because you get so much resolution, it doesn't distort the picture image as much as it would with the HD. So with all that being said, for my favorite coyote hunting night vision scope, it's definitely going to be the 4K Max.
Well, it's kind of weird to say it, but I agree. And I say it's weird because we've agreed on the best bang for the buck, the best for the hog hunters, and now the best for the coyote hunters. And I don't think we have done that on any of our shows of the best stuff for 2021. So I agree. I mean, I think that I can make the case that, the HD 4 power is great. You're getting that magnification. I think if you're on a tight budget, you're really not looking to spend the extra money, absolutely. If you like the AA batteries, that's a big deal to you, for sure. Go with the HD 4 power if you're a coyote hunter. But if you don't mind swinging the extra, $300 to get to the $799, I think you'll appreciate the 4K image quality and the zoom and everything you just said. So 100%. So Hans, now is the drum roll. This is the time to see, what do you think is the best overall, your pick for the digital night vision scopes in this lineup?
I think it's got to be the scope that has spent 0 days sitting on the shelf since it's come out. The scope that whenever we did a not the best produced podcast, is basically a Zoom call with Chase Stevens from Sightmark when we did the call with him and introducing this scope that immediately
It wasn't Chase's fault. It wasn't the best. It was
it was the low production.
Yeah,
it was the low production. But we did a Zoom call. But that show quickly got 10,000 views. I think close to. I mean, it's up above that right now. But the excitement for the Sightmark Wraith 4K Mini, from I don't know how it got so much excitement so quickly. Obviously, the size of it I think attracts a lot of people because night vision scopes historically have been pretty large, all the way back to the photons. You look at the photons and the digisites, and there's more even coming out, more options to choose from coming out in this year, which we're excited about. But that Mini has exploded on the scene. I'd tell you, like I said, has not hardly seen a shelf. You can't find them. You can't keep them in stock. If you did, you might as well trade it for a golden ticket to go to Willy Wonka land or something. I don't know, but it is
still showing your age.
Exactly. But it is worth the hype. It is worth getting this award. It's not a gimme just because it's the newest one. It's the smallest night vision scope out on the market, digital night vision scope, and it doesn't lose any performance because of the size. Again, easy choice for me. The Sightmark Wraith Mini at 2 power, great scope, looks great, looks fantastic on an AR rifle. If you've seen the pictures on Instagram, go check them out. Hans ETX. I mean, Jason's got some over there at Outdoor Legacy Instagram page. Just looks great on a scope, man. And I've got mine, and Jason has not even asked for it back yet because he knows that thing is.
I know
doesn't have much of a chance, because every time we gotten together about exchanging scopes here in the last several months, that has not made it back to him yet.
You don't even mention it, and I don't mention it because I know it's a 0% chance. well,
what do
I'm
you
going to
think?
do something that is it's going to close the show out. It's going to be kind of weird. This is a sweep. You and I agree 100% all the way through on this. We have
First
not
time ever
done this one single time, but all the way through from Best Bang to the official winner, it is the Mini. And I tell you, Hans, you take the words out of my mouth. I think that's why we work good together, because we think alike, and it just nailed it. I think it's a great, great scope. Now, I want to be clear on something. We've talked about this with our other shows. We're not saying that if you call us tomorrow, we're going to say, hey, we picked the Wraith 4K Mini. That's the scope you need to buy. Because depending on what your scenario is, I may say you need the Wraith HD 4 power. You may need the whatever. But so you can't take our pick and say that this is absolutely the best scope and everybody should go buy it, because that's not always true. Every scenario is different, and we're glad to talk to you and, help you kind of work through that when you get ready to make that purchase. But I think for my overall pick, if you force me to pick one of these and say this is the last digital night vision scope that you'll ever own, and it's out of this list, what's it going to be? It's going to be the Wraith 4K Mini. I think it is just a fantastic scope. I'm excited to see what it's going to do on the market when it finally gets out there in mass quantities. I think people are going to eat it up. Now I will say this. I think it's going to be majorly popular below the Mason-Dixon line. I think down here in Texas and the South, it's going to be huge. I don't think it's going to excite near as many people up north. I mean, I think the coyote hunters are going to want the 3 power and the 4 power on these other models. But I think down here, hog hunters, I think they're going to just eat it up.
Yeah.
And so really, really like it. And hey, like we already said, hopefully we'll have some more stuff to talk about. Maybe some of these new pulsars that are looking to be coming very soon. Hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have lots of info on those, and we'll be including them in the mix as well.
I'll tell you, there has not been, that I know of, a night vision scope with more anticipation than the Digix C50 that you talked about
Yeah.
earlier. I mean, we
Yeah.
are just for months and months we've been getting calls about it, y'all, and we're
And
just
I don't know
as excited
how, because we've
I
never
don't know.
talked about it. This is
Never
maybe
talked
the
about
first
it.
time it's ever been mentioned. I have
It's
no
gotta
clue
be-
where people are seeing it.
It's got to be, I don't know, maybe they're seeing it from stuff overseas.
Yeah.
Maybe people are releasing information about it, but man, there that has been blowing the doors off everything, it seems like, as far as questions and people calling up wanting to know and when it's going to be out, and if it's here. There's some confusion because some people actually thought it was already out, but man, I know that that's going to be a big contender next year, the Pulsar night vision optics, which, in the past we've talked about how great as far as their nighttime performance are, and even their nighttime performance in a lot of cases was better than some of the Sightmark stuff with just nighttime only performance. But excited to see what that new Pulsar night vision is going to do, and see how this changes for next year when we're doing this show same time next year. But
I agree. And yeah, for sure. And I want to tell y'all something. We're talking about some of these optics. What you ought to do is you need to go over to one of our pro staffers, retired U.S. Army Colonel Chester Cupp, super good guy. And Chester has got a YouTube channel that's called The Old Deer Hunters. Now, I'm not calling him old. He called himself old, all right? And so it's The Old Deer Hunters, Hunters with an S. If you'll go to YouTube and search that, you will find his YouTube channel, and he has got several videos with this 4K mini on there, and a lot of other stuff too.
Yeah,
Go
I think he
over
put
to his
one out
channel.
just today. I think he just put one out just recently. So
Oh,
today,
really?
actually, yeah. So it.
Oh, see, I've
today,
been too busy,
not
didn't
be-
even see it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm
Go check
working,
that
and
out.
you're playing on YouTube. So that's
Of course. I'm
No, but
researching. We don't call it playing.
You're
We call it
researching.
researching. Go ahead.
Researching. There you go. Yeah, go check that out. He's got some cool videos. He's got videos of some of these other units as well that I think would be very helpful. And while you're over there, click the little subscribe button. Chester's getting really close to 1,000 subscriptions over there, and we want to push him over the edge with the Late Night Vision Show listeners. So do that. Go over there, check that out. Also, he's got a website with a blog. It's theolddeerhunters.com, and that is how he and I actually got hooked up. He had bought some stuff from us and had written a review, and I was like, man, this guy's fabulous. So he actually does written reviews. So if you go to outdoorlegacygear.com and you go there, up at the top, you can click blogs. And Chester's got several, a bunch of reviews of night vision and thermal optics in there. They are some of the most detailed yet very readable reviews that I've ever seen, and we are proud to have him doing those for us. I know he's working on some more right now, so stay tuned for that. But again, you can go find him at The Old Deer Hunters. He's on Instagram as well, but as big deal right now, he's making these videos on YouTube and his blog and just doing a fabulous job. So go check him out. Hans, I tell you what, we've had a big 2021. I know it's the first week of 2022 and we're kind of talking about it, but I think it's a good time to, just kind of recap here. We've had a lot of best of shows, a lot of new stuff on the market, and we're getting ready for SHOT Show season. SHOT Show is going to be coming up, and we'll be talking a lot about that on the show. And folks, I'm going to tell you, if you like night vision and thermal, and this is what you're into, or maybe it's what you want to get into, you need to stick to this channel, the Late Night Vision Show. You need to subscribe. If you're listening on one of the podcast apps, you can subscribe there so you don't miss an episode. We have got lots of new stuff that's going to be coming up, tons of reviews. There is so many new scopes coming for 2022. I'm not even sure how we're going to review them all. I think we're going to have to start combining reviews and review maybe a couple scopes at a time, because there's so much exciting stuff coming.
No, I think so too. to stay here and check that out, all you got to do is subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're checking in the latenightvision.show.com for all past episodes. And as always, go follow me on YouTube. I'm going to throw myself a plug. How about that?
Please do.
Yeah, on YouTube. That's HANSETX, where you can find me doing all the reviews. So, here we do more of the long form reviews. Over there, we do shorter reviews with a lot of thermal videos, so you can check it out. My reviews usually follow the podcast, so you'll be able to see it here first, and then go check mine out, usually a week or two after. And then go follow Jason over at Outdoor Legacy on YouTube, on Facebook, and also on Instagram. Anywhere that you can find podcasts, the audio-only podcast version of this show, please go do so on iTunes, Spotify, not Shopify, because I've said that before accidentally. What are the other ones called?
Spotify,
I don't even know. There's
Google
a bunch
Play
of them.
and
Google
Apple.
Play.
I don't know. There's a lot.
I know. I write up the list all the time and I always forget. But go check it out over there. If you're on the road, if you're running back and forth for work or dropping the kids off or whatever you got to do, go check us out on the audio only version. But we love y'all watching us on YouTube. So keep doing that. Thumbs up. Subscribe, man. We're over 8,000 subscribers now, or close to it, something like that.
Wow.
I haven't checked it in a while, but we're up there. Man, the show's grown like crazy, and we really, really appreciate it. But I don't think, with SHOT Show coming up, we've got a lot of great content, but I don't think we're going to be doing a show quite like what you're seeing right now, as far as you and me together in a booth. After next week's episode, you're not going to see us doing the standard form for a few weeks, because we're going to be doing a lot of other stuff, and we're going to be gone for a week for SHOT Show. But stay tuned, because this is the place, y'all, for latest and greatest in night vision and thermal optics. We've got a lot of content related to SHOT Show, new releases. If you want to know about it, find it here, thelatenightvision.show.com.
I agree. And folks, if you're looking for a night vision or a thermal optic, and you want to make a purchase, but you don't know what to purchase, it's a lot of money, whether it's $500 or $5,000 or $10,000. You go, you know what? I'm willing to spend it, but I just want to make sure I'm getting the right thing. I don't want to just, go out there and try to research this myself and get more confused and then make a purchase and regret it. Call us. Outdoor Legacy, 877-350-1818. This is what Hans and I do full time for a living. It's how we feed our families, and we would love to help you. Before you make that purchase, give you the advice, hear how you hunt, what you do, and then make the suggestion and help you with that purchase. And then we're there for you after you make the purchase if you got questions and things as well. So please, outdoorlegacygear.com. If you already know what you want, if you've listened to us and you decided, you can go right there, make the purchase. If it's out of stock, give one of the ladies in the office a call. They'll be glad to help you figure out when it might be coming. If you got questions, Hans and I are here to help. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We appreciate y'all. Hope to see you here, or hear you here if you're only listening, next week on the Late Night Vision Show. But between now and then, y'all stay safe in the fields and keep making those bacon pancakes.